Hey, this is Tim, and I can't believe I'm sitting between these two incredibly impressive, important gentlemen. Keith Potter, say hello.
Hello.
Leon May.
Hey there.
So we are at the Boston camp in Florida in April, and thank you for having Leon join us for a conversation.
Glad to be here.
You just kind of, I'm not sure where to look because you're back here.
I'm back here, but the camera's over there.
Looking over there.
I have got a super professional thing going on. Now I'm coughing. Maybe I'll edit this part out. So, congrats on the success of the core.
Thanks.
I've been telling everybody, but I loved the sort of feel and style and personality that the core's had the last couple of years, and can't wait to see what you come up with this year. You feeling good about where you're headed?
Feeling very good about where we're headed. We've had a really, really strong winter, and music's coming along great. The drill is coming along great. The talent is off the charts. I mean, it's really going well this winter.
I mean, holy cow! I just watched a few minutes of the Guard audition, and I was like, it's like you pulled all the world-class Guard people, and they all arrived in one room. Of course, that's the talent you're drawing, right? Like really high caliber people.
Yeah, well, I think we have a lot of people returning. Do you know what the numbers were?
No, but it's
quite a lot of that.
It's quite a bit.
Strong,
Yeah,
quite strong.
Yeah. And who wouldn't? That's a testament to the success of the core. And man, the Guard was just crazy good last year.
Right.
And I love your staging of them. I think helped them shine. It must be really rewarding to watch that happen.
Yeah, for sure it is. I mean, I think that, when Keith and I put together shows, I mean, it's really about presenting the color. We're trying to put the Guard in, constantly put them in great situations to bring the music across and be effective.
And we talked about that a little bit before you were asking about the delivery of whatever the message might be. And we talked about, part of it is getting the people that don't have horns blocking their faces into a position where they can communicate with their faces and with their bodies. And so that's, besides again, the choreography and the crazy talent, trying to set them up to communicate is kind of part of the gig.
So how much of the drill have you actually written by April? I don't think people know what the process is for most drum corps, and we can only talk about what you guys do, but where are you in that process?
Well, we try to do a song a month, kind of. We're almost done with our 3rd out of 5 productions.
Really?
So about 120 pages in-ish, maybe a little more.
So you started writing actual drill on paper back, January, February?
Yeah, last week of January we started this show.
Wow.
But then, we often will run into, kind of waiting to figure out exactly what the music is going to be in certain parts of the show, so we have to put it on hold. So, maybe we have to take a break for 2 weeks because we are, waiting on an introduction to a song or something like that. But then, right back to it. I mean, we work on it pretty much every day from the beginning of February through, move-in and then into move-in and hopefully finish the show.
So you're working on
the
core's drill almost every day the whole winter.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it, but I don't think people would expect
that. Both of us do some winter guard, and he does a lot of winter guard.
You're doing other stuff. Yeah,
we do some other stuff, but, I'm writing drill, sending him videos, and sending Pyware back and forth. Certainly February 1st, that's we're starting.
So how does that work? You write a few pages and send it, or you write 10 pages and send it, or how does that work?
Every section kind of differs, but ultimately, I'm usually coming up with something, sending it to him, and then we talk about, how can we edit this to get the most out of it? And then I'll take another pass at it, maybe over the next hour or two, and then send him another video later that day. We talk about it. Then, let's try again tomorrow. Next day we get up. Oh, hey, we've got that 5 or 6 pages down. Let's move on. I mean, it's kind of a process like that. I mean, I find that the editing process of the drill writing, for what we've been doing now for more than 10 years, that is really helping us become successful.
What do you mean the editing process? Explain what you mean by that.
I mean, I'm not just writing it and then handing it over.
I see.
I'm creating a video, sending it to Keith, and we're having conversation about it. So we really are designing the show together.
The collaboration.
And like I said when we talked earlier, then that's part 1 and part 2. Part 3, when we start putting it on the field and we have Brady and Michael Townsend and Heather and Kylie and everybody else that is part of the choreographic process. That's pass 3, and like I said, it might not be. In fact, it's usually not exactly what we originally set up. We really are just trying to set it up so that there are some choose your own adventures.
Well, let's talk about that part, because I think a lot of band directors struggle with the idea that they're now including so much movement in with the drill, and they know how to teach drill, and maybe they know how to teach movement, but the idea that you're figuring it out, where does the movement, how does it working with the drill, like how do you manage that when you're writing? Do you know that I'm going to write this in planning for there to be certain kind of movement here, or do you just leave a space? Like, how do you do it, Leon?
All of that. Some things musically feel like a vertical moment, and we know that we can achieve something with the horn line there. And sometimes there is some drill to what that vertical moment would be. Maybe it's just a ripple side to side, or something like that. And then other things are actual movement phrases that we think would travel. And then, we're always setting up those events that are going to, have choreography. But, it's always in one of our heads, usually both, of like, this could be done something like this with the horn line and the drum line to, this is the kind of effect we could get from there. And we want it to be a variety. I mean, we certainly want to do some drill and use motion, but we also want to do as many different movement ideas as we can as well, to have a large variety of skills that we can portray and creative looks that we can show.
And so when do you estimate this is probably going to travel about this much? Because I'm thinking as a drill writer, then you're moving on to the next thing, but how do you know how to move on and if it will work?
I stand up in my office and I do a little soft shoe across the floor.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
Sometimes, but for example, we were just talking about, we learned a little bit of drill today, and the baritones were in little groups and moving across at a very small pace. I'm like, yeah, they should probably be moving halftime. And in all actuality, that's going to be choreographed as like step, step, step with the music. So it is planned out like that. I don't know the exact steps, and Brady Sanders will do a great job interpreting that, and we'll all have conversations, before some of that stuff is choreographed. Some he'll just take it and run with it, but it's certainly planned. But then,
right.
But the great part is once we get to move in and once we get to putting the show on the field is that, we see all of this come to fruition, and it's like, oh, boy, that moment is even better than we thought it could be. And that happens a lot especially with the guard staff and design staff that we have.
And then the drill can always just be adjusted if something's not working. There's constantly changes or adjustments, right?
Yeah. That's why I spend a large amount of time at move-in, so I'm putting out fires. Hey, we need this adjusted a little bit. This needs to be adjusted. This is a little too big for the bass drums. I mean, all of that kind of stuff. I make small adjustments at movement constantly as we go. But all of the bigger changes, like the big picture ideas and stuff, we vet that out over months before we ever get to move in. So hopefully we get to move in and the show is laid out pretty well, and everything that we're doing adjustment-wise is detail.
Okay, so see, this is the point that I want everybody to get, is that you've been communicating almost daily for months, making sure that the plan, the detail, when is the movement, that's a lot of work. I just don't think most people realize that when you get to this highest level, the hours and the sweat. Do you want to speak to that? Because that's just one of my themes that I tell people a lot is like, this is a lot more work than you think it is.
Well,
I mean, it's, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are spending a lot of time communicating about all this.
I think it's just a matter of, I guess, first of all, everybody does it differently. There are some people that have amazing success with not doing it this way. But I think what works for us is, I said it before about the choose your own adventure. I think the whole game of this is setting yourself up for opportunity. And that's what,
God, what a great phrase that is.
That's what Leon does really well, is he sets everybody up for opportunity. And then within that, he's got the composition of the drill or the staging or the, all the elements of design of balance and weight and density and scale and all of that he manages. But it's always to set everybody up for an opportunity and to have the next one in place, just like playing pool. It's only a good shot if it leaves you another shot. So
that is such a great analogy for writing drill. That is
a great analogy,
man.
And I can't believe that you've never said that analogy to me before, because I really love that. But that is a lot of what we do when we get an idea, and this has happened many times, where we write an idea and we're done with it, like, hey, this is a great idea. All right, well, this is what's happening next, though, and we're not quite set up to do that. So, all right, well, how can we, change this idea a little bit to make sure it's going to set us up for this next idea as well? So we're not like, adding a bunch of transition time, unnecessarily, where we're going from effect to effect to effect.
Okay, so how do you figure that out, though? Because that's where everybody struggles, and that's where shows fall apart. Is the transitions are so ugly, or they're not seamless, or they're not like is it just like, can you guys give us any insight into how you figure that out?
We go at it with the assumption that there is never a transition, right? If it's not important, if it's not of value to deliver information, whether it's technical, expressive, conceptual, if it's not doing any of that, then you did it wrong, or we think we did it wrong. So
okay.
So we will go back and be like, this doesn't have the value that we think it needs to have, and so we need to reconfigure so that you're getting the value from this idea, and the next thing that's going to happen is value from an idea that you didn't expect, and then the next thing, and it just keeps rolling. And those ideas have to change in scale and in weight, so that you create the range and the contour of the show. But it can never be where we're leaving the audience waiting for us to get somewhere.
Okay, so I want to make sure people watching this and understand what you mean by scale and weight in the context of drill or staging.
Well, sometimes it's the whole horn line, like, might do something, and right on a, for example, like on a drum shot, they all jump in the air and land, and it's really musical and really effective, and it's 150 people. And sometimes it might all pull apart into small groups, and it opens all this space, so the density totally changes, and one rifle might toss. And so, you're constantly trying to manipulate that clay, so every moment is a different texture and a different color. So that's
and the variety of that is what is so pleasing and interesting, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. And all this backs up, 2 or 3 months before that, and when we're planning the music, from the music choices to then sculpting and editing the music as it comes to us. And Keith does a great job helping to edit the ideas musically to help them set us up visually.
So how do you do that with Ryan's writing the horn book, right? So how are you communicating in the same way, like looking at the weight and density of the music and how that will interpret?
Yeah, I always say that I kind of get to be on every staff, and I'm on no staff. Like in
that's really good.
In the beginning,
yeah.
I'm kind of on the music team. And then in the middle, I go on to the drill team, and then not the drill team, but the drill writing team. And then at move-in, I kind of go on to the guard team. And so, luckily, I get to work kind of the same way we're talking about.
But that's the job of a coordinator, right? You're like the glue, okay. You're the pool table in which the pool happens. Are you the green felt?
No,
okay. I'm torturing it. I'm sorry. I'm totally torturing it.
It's just.
But you are the connecting of the dots.
That's just my
that's
job.
Your role.
Everybody has a job.
That's your job.
That's my job. Yeah.
That's a lot to keep track of in your head.
It's a lot.
Does your head ever want to explode?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're also trying to prevent people from doing stuff totally in a vacuum. We're trying to communication is key. We all know this, but Keith really makes sure that all the facets of the design of the show are in concert with each other. And that's what he does great.
So it really helps that you guys like each other, that you're like friends, and you guys have worked together. I was going to say, you guys have worked together like a really long time.
Yeah. Well, we marched together, so before that.
Yeah. I should have known that. Where did you guys march together?
Well,
I should know this, people.
Actually, we both marched cadets, but my first year, he was his first year on staff, and then we marched winter guard together at Escapade.
1992.
Famous. Oh my gosh, I feel like I should be taking autographs. I'll do that later off camera. That's amazing. I guess I knew that. So that's a long time that you guys have.
Yeah.
So can you finish each other's sentences at this point? And can you finish his pool shot? I'm really trying to work that in.
That's yeah. I guess that's what we try to do. But yeah, I mean, we started teaching Winter Guard together kind of right then, and then started teaching Center Grove's marching band, which this
is where I come into the picture.
That's right.
That's right. I actually have a place in this.
I think that's 3 podcasts now that we've got to bring that up to.
Bring it up every chance you get. Yes, I did write the music for a few of those Center Grove shows. That's awesome. I'm so glad you brought that up again. TimHinton.com. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. So, but we're almost done with this, I promise. But this is a theme, is that I find that most of the really great, successful staffs have a long track record. Sure. Like they really know how to work together, and that's part of the success. Would you agree? You want to speak to that at all?
Yeah, I mean, again, just like everything, I'm sure everybody has different stories, but, I've been lucky in my Guard career that I've worked with I'm saying this wrong, a few people for a long time. In Winter Guard, I was at Pride of Cincinnati working with a team of people since 1997. My role was always something different there over the years. And same in marching band and drum corps. I've worked with Leon and Michael Townsend for a really long time. Leon longer, but my experience is that longevity and experience together makes things much more efficient, makes things move quicker. We kind of understand the aesthetic and some of the process, and
and we're not scared to tell each other stuff.
Exactly.
That's a big part of it. Maybe where you're getting at. We've heard it all from each other and been mad at each other and high-fived each other, and we've been through it all. At the end of the day, we know that we're just trying to put the best thing out there. That's all the ultimate goal.
There's a level of trust and
right. Yeah. Something I've said many times. I just want to make art with my friends, and that's what we're doing.
Well, you're doing it in a ridiculously successful and high way, and I appreciate it. Like the art you guys are creating at Boston, I just told Brady, the personality, the feel, the emotions. There's something really special going on here. So I can't wait to see what you come up with. And of course, they can't tell me anything about the show in April, or at least not that I can share. Are you going to tell me anything about the show?
I did give you a hint before. You'll have to go back and watch.
That was so vague. Oh my God. All of literature from, okay, all right, never mind. So there was a hint. All right, so thank you guys for talking to me. Anything you want to say in closing about all this? You looking forward to the year? Is it going to be a great year?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm so excited to be here and finally see it. Like I said before,
starting to come.
It was just foundations and pieces, and now it's starting to get connected, and I'm excited to see what we're going to hear tomorrow.
What are you thinking about this season?
Great. As I sit with the drill and watch, the run-throughs on my computer, every day of each piece, I'm so excited. I can't wait for the kids to get this in their hands. I can't wait to teach the kids some of this show. It's really a great thing, especially once we get to move in and the show just starts building and coming to life. It's the best. It's why I keep doing this.
I know, but aren't we the luckiest people in the world that we get to come up with these ideas, create it, and then see it come to life in such a rewarding way?
Yeah, it is.
It's a good job.
Yeah, it is.
And you guys are doing it so well. So thank you for taking time to talk with me. Cannot wait to see what's going on this summer. Everybody will all be clapping for Boston like crazy as always. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Find other interviews and videos from top DCI designers, instructors, and marchers, behind-the-scenes videos, interviews, and podcasts from winter camps, spring training, traveling during the season, and performances, all at marchingartseducation.com/DCI-2019. The Marching Roundtable is proud to be an official media partner of Drum Corps International. Subscribe to the Marching Roundtable and Marching Arts Education YouTube channel so you never miss a single video from the Marching Arts #1 source of educational resources, entertaining podcasts, and news from the activity. If you like the Marching Roundtable, please tell a friend or colleague. You are the best way we have to let people know about this valuable resource. Find podcasts at marchingroundtable.com and find live webinars and video content
at marchingartseducation.com. Thank you for watching.